Ryan, I think you would have told.
Now we are. There you go.
There we go. We are officially live. We are officially live. In case you don't know, my name is QuickSilva, or as they say on the radio, it's quick, quick, quick. Of course, I'm on 3 to 7 every day and be more on 92Q. But I have a very special guest here today to tell us about Guinness and beer. And I was having a conversation with him backstage because I'm just surprised that when I think beer, I thought beer was just beer. Like, I drink beer and just one type of beer. I had no idea that beer had thousands, but I have Ryan Wagner of Guinness officially here on the show today. Welcome, Ryan.
Thank you so much for having me, man.
All right. So first and foremost, Ryan, you are from Guinness. And this is kind of off the script, but when I think of Guinness, I think of Guinness Stout. So I think of Guinness Stout. Jamaica's my favorite place to vacation. I used to before COVID. I would go to Jamaica twice a year. I love it so much. And whenever I'm in Jamaica, I'm eating my jerk chicken, drinking a Guinness Stout. It goes with the culture, right? Is Guinness just a Jamaican beer?
So that's a tough thing to answer. Number one, you got a rough life going to Jamaica twice a year. All right. That's but yeah, I mean, Guinness is a beer that exists all over the world, right? It has what you might call a global outreach. We were founded in 1759 in Dublin, Ireland, but because we've been around for so long, 260 plus years, over the course of those 2 centuries, our beer has kind of made its way all the way across the globe. And because it has been in some of these places so long, if you're in Jamaica, the beer has been there so long that, yeah, Guinness is a Jamaican beer if you're in Jamaica. Just like if you're in Nigeria, it's a Nigerian beer. If you're in Cambodia, it's a Cambodian beer. At its heart, it's an Irish beer. But I think one of the best things about Guinness, and especially for us here in the United States, I mean, Guinness beer has been in the U.S. since 1817. So for more than 200 years, it's been a part of American culture. But Guinness has a way of really getting to the heart of a culture and becoming a part of it. So because we operate and we brew our beer in so many places around the world, and the local folks in each of those places help us brew the beer and make it, it very much becomes something that is theirs. So wherever you are in the world, if you're drinking a Guinness beer, yeah, that beer belongs to whatever culture served it to you, I guess.
So I'm excited to hear about this because up until this point today, I thought Guinness only was Guinness Stout. I thought like that was the only beer you guys serve. So give us a little bit about the history, of course, on Guinness and the brewery.
Yeah, so when you talk about Guinness history, again, dates back to 1759. And from there, we were able to spread our beer around the world. But in terms of our brewery here in the United States, this is a relatively new thing, especially if you're looking at the 2.5 centuries of Guinness history. Right. The brewery in Baltimore, which is just south of the city, right at 195 and Washington Boulevard, that brewery opened in probably say October of 2017, because that's when we opened a really small tap room that was on site. We allowed people to come down and kind of check out what we were getting ourselves into. Right. And then in August of 2018, the main space opened, and that's what we've been running for a little over 2 years now. That brewery is the first purpose-built brewery that Guinness has constructed in the U.S. in its entire history. So even though the beer has existed here for more than 200 years, we never purposely built a brewery to make Guinness beer here in the U.S. until now. And the reason is, right now, the American craft beer scene has created a culture that is just as vibrant, as diverse, as creative as any beer culture in the world. And so if Guinness wanted to take advantage of that and be a part of that, they needed to do it here. And more importantly, they needed to do it with American brewers. So they looked around the U.S. trying to find the perfect spot to do it. They picked Baltimore, which, as a Baltimore native, born and raised, man,
there's born and raised myself. I'm born and raised in East Baltimore. Yeah. Where you born at? Where you at?
So as a child, I lived up in Bel Air Edison off of Raymond Avenue. And then my family, we moved to Harford County. I went to Edgewood High School. But now my wife and I are back living in Hamden in Northwest Baltimore.
Gotcha. So, of course, if you're just tuning in, we're talking to Ryan Wagner of Guinness. Now, like I said, I thought that Guinness was just a stout. That's what I thought. Yeah. What are the different types of beer?
Oh man, we don't have nearly enough time. I'll try to give you the Reader's version, right? Yeah, trim it down. They are anything and everything. So if you just take a look at the brewery that we've been operating in Baltimore, everything from a lot of the IPAs that I think most people are familiar with, fruited beers. I think we sent you a salt and lime ale. I think we've worked on, right now we have a nitro blood orange ale. And then you get into the stouts, right? Because to your point, Quick, that is at the heart of what Guinness does, right? We are known as a stout brewer. We're never going to turn away from that. As a matter of fact, you have another beer that we sent you, Black is Beautiful, which is a really cool collaboration project that we did with a brewery called Weathered Souls, which is out of Texas. They created Black is Beautiful as a way to raise money for organizations that were fighting social injustice. They released that out into the world, into the brewing world, and said, look, if you guys want to take this beer and make it yourselves, feel free to do it. But just make sure you donate the profits to an organization that's fighting social injustice. We did the same thing, and more than 1,000 brewers to this point have done so as well. So we're always going to make stouts, but then you can get into cocktail beers like we're going to talk about with this event coming up this week.
Absolutely.
You can talk about golden ales, lagers, beers that we brewed for Oktoberfest a couple weeks ago. I mean, it really runs the gamut of flavors and colors and even textures in some way. There's a whole world of beer out there.
And just so I know, what exactly is stout? Like, what is the stout that's in that beer?
Yeah, so stout's got an interesting history, and we're kind of at the center of it. So way back, 200 years ago, if you wanted to make a beer that was dark in color and had a bit more of a robust character, you had to use dark malt, so dark, almost roasted barley. The problem was back in those days, if you roasted it, you were doing it over an open flame, so it made it taste like smoke and burnt and acrid and really kind of awful stuff. What they figured out was that if you matured it in wooden barrels, similar to what we do now, as a matter of fact, you could kind of soften those rough edges. The really hilarious thing is they made the beer, this new kind of creation of a dark beer back in right around the turn of 1700s to 1800s.
Okay.
They released it, and because it was made with a cheaper ingredient, it was cheaper to sell. So the guys working the docks were the ones that were drinking all of it. Right. Those guys were called porters, and so they named the beer after them. It became a porter. A couple of years later, people asked for stronger versions of their favorite porter, and they make extra stout porters, and that's when stout becomes its own beer. So basically, anything that's a little darker in color, it's going to have characteristics of roasted coffee, chocolate, roasted barley. That's what really differentiates a stout.
Gotcha. Now, of course, one of the beers we're going to focus on today is this Black is Beautiful. This is a collaboration you talked about with Black Eyed Susan Beer launch. Now, you have an event that's happening this Thursday, correct?
Yeah, so the event on Thursday is actually a little different than that beer you have there. Black is Beautiful is one that we raised money for over the last few weeks, and I think that one might be making a return as well.
Okay.
The beer being released this weekend is a collaboration for us and a brewery in Nashville, Tennessee called Tennessee Brewworks. They came up 15 months ago, which, you know, I don't think I have to tell you quick. That feels like it was a million years ago at this point.
Yeah.
But 15 months ago, we put a beer into a rum barrel. And so it was a golden ale. They added pineapple and tangerine. And what we were going for, because Tennessee Brewworks is in the heart of horse country, right? We were trying to figure out a beer to help celebrate the Preakness, that horse race in Baltimore. And so this was kind of a take on the Black Eyed Susan, the cocktail that served around that time. So this was a beer, again, I mentioned cocktail forward beers, right? So you take a golden ale, you age it in a rum barrel. It takes on some of the characteristics of rum, of the barrel itself. You add pineapple and tangerine just like they do with the cocktail. And what came out of the barrels just a few weeks ago that's now in kegs is a 12.4% golden ale with pineapple and tangerine. And man, this is not a beer. I mean, it is a beer. I think our head brewer, Holly, would get mad at me for saying that. But it is so cocktail forward. We're going to serve it with a cherry in it because it is extremely cocktail forward. I think Holly, our head brewer, put it best. It tastes like rum punch. That's the best way to describe this beer.
I love rum punch.
Yeah, man. We're excited about it. We're excited to see what people think about it. And so Thursday is the day that we're releasing it for the first time. We wanted to celebrate it. We're doing a Black Eyed Susan Day down at the brewery. We've got Tamara Wellens coming up and playing. She's got a jazz trio that's going to play some awesome, chill, relaxed music. And we're just going to release this beer and see what people think, man. This is one of the biggest beers in terms of ABV that we've ever released. So first and foremost, we want everybody to drink responsibly and have a great but safe time. But yeah, man, you know, it's been tough in the age of COVID, trying to create a safe space where everybody can feel comfortable. But within that, we also want to celebrate these moments and bring people together from a safe distance and doing everything the right way. But this is an opportunity for us to introduce people to a beer that I think, to your point, they might look at it and say, man, this isn't Guinness. And I mean that in a good way.
And it's 12% alcohol by volume.
12.4%. That's what I'm saying, man. So when Holly said, well,
that's almost liquor.
Yeah. And that's the unique thing, right? That's what beer can do that I don't think spirits can do. And I don't think wine can do is we can take elements of both of those things and incorporate them into a beer. Nobody's taking a wine and maturing it in a beer barrel, right? But we have the ability to take our beer and to manipulate it using the flavors and the aromas from that barrel and create something that's new and unique and diverse in its own right. And it really changes the way that people perceive beer. We have so many people that come to the brewery and they get dragged there by their friends or their colleagues or their husband or wife or whatever it is. And they say, man, I don't really drink beer. What do you guys have for me? In a case of this week, man, on Thursday, we've got something really unique if people like cocktails.
Now, once again, the event this Thursday, Black Eye Susan event, is it actually, where's the actual location?
Yeah, so it's 5001 Washington Boulevard. If you're coming from Baltimore, down 95, take 195 like you're going to the airport. Mm-hmm. The first exit is Washington Boulevard. We're right there. You can't miss us if you take that exit.
Gotcha. Now, tell us more about the space, man. Like, I've never been there, but I definitely want to come. Tell me more about the space where you guys are located.
I had somebody come in last week who was coming for their first time, and it's always fun because we've been around a little while now, so it's fewer and further between that people haven't been there. Right. And they walked in and they just looked around and said, I didn't expect this place to be so grand. It is massive in scale. We have a lot of room outside. We're clinging desperately to this beautiful weather for as long as we can hold on to it. But yeah, the space is an old whiskey distillery. So we're built into an old rick house that dates back to the 1940s. The indoor space is 3 floors, including a restaurant and a tap room. Downstairs is where our 10-barrel experimental brewery is, which is where the Black Eyed Susan beer was born. And then the outside space is about 1.5 acres. And the good news for us is we have so much space that our tables are 10 and 12 feet apart in most cases. The one thing I would tell people, head to GuinnessBreweryBaltimore.com. There's an FAQ on there that's going to tell you all about the safety protocols we put into place. The thing I think we're most proud of right now is the feedback that we're getting and have been getting for the last few months is that we've created a space where people do feel safe, where they do feel comfortable. We're going to try to do everything right. And a big credit to our staff, man. They work their tails off every day to try to create that still immersive experience, but doing it the safest way that we can.
Now, also, if someone can't make the event this Thursday, and I'm encouraging everybody, please come out this Thursday. What time is the event?
Time is 3 to 10 p.m. We open up at 3. We close at 10. Tomorrow, Wellens is playing 4 to 8 p.m. So if you want live music, come in that 4 to 8 range.
But you also have curbside pickup as well, correct?
Yep. Yeah, we do. We know, right now, not everybody's ready to come out and hang out. Totally understandable. So if you want to just pick up some beer, the curbside program, you can go to GuinnessBreweryBaltimore.com, click on curbside pickup. It's going to take you to all of the beers that are available, whether it's packaged or we can take some of our draft beer and put it into crowlers. And we also got some food that we do through that program as well. It's super simple. You pull up, you pop your trunk, you show your ID, they throw your order right in the back, and you're gone that quickly. So really easy way to experience what Guinness is about.
And is your curbside just Thursday or is it every day?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah. I actually don't know if we're doing Sundays yet, but the good news is if you go to the website, you can pick the day and the time that you want to pick up. It'll give you a half-hour window. So if you pick Thursday from 4 to 4:30, you just have to show up somewhere in that half-hour window and your order is going to be ready to pick up.
I love it so much. Now, real quick, let's go through some of the beers that you guys sent me just to tell me, because like I said, I honestly thought up until today, before I'm talking to you, sir, I thought that Guinness only had Guinness Stout. That was the only beer. So one is the Salt and Lime Ale. Salt and Lime Ale. My light is low.
Yeah. No, you're good. Salt and Lime Ale is still available at the brewery. You can swing by and pick up some of those cans. That's a really simple beer, man. You think of, this, well, maybe not quite this time of year, but you're outside, you're barbecuing, you're cooking out. You want a beer that's going to be light and crisp and refreshing, a little bit of citrus. And when we put the salt in there, the salt's actually a pretty cool story. That comes from the Barrier Island Salt Company. The salt is from the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay. So it's kind of our salt, right? It's the salt from our part of the world. So that's really light, really crisp, easy drinker. I think one of the guys that works down at the brewery calls it his lawnmower beer. So when he comes in after mowing the lawn, that's the beer that he cracks on a warm day.
Gotcha. Now, of course, another one I have is the Wide Mouth White Ale.
Yeah.
Wide Mouth White Ale. What is that all about?
So the reason I wanted to send you that one is not only is that one available at the brewery, and we've been making it pretty much since we opened back in 2018, but that's the latest one to make the jump outside of our walls. So people at your local restaurants and bars, definitely at your local liquor stores, you're probably going to see that one on the shelves. That's the ability to take a little bit of the brewery home without even having to visit the brewery. That one is super drinkable. It's a take on a Belgian wit beer, so it's brewed with wheat in addition to barley. It gives it kind of a peppery, earthy kick, but it's also brewed using coriander, so that gives you a bit of pepperiness, and then also lemon and orange peel, so it's got that citrus note that you're looking for. For anybody that's not a beer drinker, this is the one we always recommend because there's almost no bitterness, which is what typically tends to turn people off about beer.
The white ale you're talking about.
Yeah, the white ale. Yep. That one's super good. It's one of my favorites.
All right. And then, of course, you also sent me the, how do I say this one? Strata Session.
Yep. Strata Session IPA.
What about?
That's so the term session beer in beer drinking is kind of the opposite of the Black Eyed Susan beer at 12.4%. That one that you just showed is 4.2% alcohol. So it's a little bit lower in terms of its ABV, a little bit easier to drink. And obviously alcohol is alcohol, so you got to be safe no matter what. But that's one where you can have one or two over the course of an evening and still be in control of what's going on. I did see a question pop up. How much does it cost to come? That's a great question from Dwayne. There is no cost. It's free. We're just opening the doors. Now the beer isn't free.
Right.
Isn't free. But yeah, there's no ticket cost or anything. You just come down, and if you want to hear the music, you're going to have to be in an outdoor table. So just make sure you get there a little bit ahead of time and grab your table, and then you can just enjoy the evening. It looks right now, and I'll knock on some wood, it looks like we're going to get pretty great weather for the weekend.
Now you said bring your table. If I want to sit outside, do I need to bring my own lawn chair or chair?
No, we got a table. Just grab a table. I should have said grab whatever table they give you when you get to the door.
You're providing the tables, chairs, everything like that. I just show
everything like that. Yeah.
Make sure I have
even the ordering system is done on your phone. So whenever they seat you at your table, there's going to be a little QR code on the table. You scan it with your phone. It brings the menu up. You order directly from that menu, and then it's brought to you. It's all contact free. It's pretty cool.
I love it. I love it. Now, one more time, the event is happening this Thursday from 3 until 10 p.m. Right at the brewery. Give us the address one more time.
5001 Washington Boulevard. It's in Halethorpe. It's just, if you get on Washington Boulevard from the city, it's like 10 minutes.
Got you. And of course, the website is GuinnessBreweryBaltimore.com. Now,
that is exactly right.
Before I get you out of here, I want to taste one of these beers. Which one would you recommend for me? So, like I said, I'm not a humongous beer drinker. I drink beer. I'm from Baltimore, so I eat crabs. So when I'm eating my crabs, I gotta have a beer. If I'm having a cookout, I gotta have a beer. I got the guys over on the Sunday. We watching the Ravens win. When they win, I gotta have a beer.
Right.
So, but I don't drink beer every day. So like,
all right,
the serious beer taste.
So what I'm going to ask you is this: we're gonna figure out which beer you should try. So you mentioned you've had Foreign Extra Stout when you've been in Jamaica, right? So you've had a stout before. So my question is: do you want something light and crisp and easy to drink, or do you want to try something that's a little bit roastier and a little bit more robust in the way that it tastes?
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and give me 1 and 1. So I'll try one. Some water here, so I'll clear my palate after I taste the first one.
All right, so try the first one, and that's gonna be the white ale. I'm curious to see what you think of the white ale.
White ale. Can I drink it right out the can, or I gotta pour it in the beer mug?
So I am not here to judge anybody's drinking technique, but what I will say is, if you want to get the true aroma of a beer, you got to put it into a glass, because that's the way that you get your nose involved. And I sent you some fancy glassware, I think. So yeah,
a nice one. So I know I got to pour it sideways. I know a little bit about pouring.
Yep, but build the head a little bit of it too, because that's where all the aroma lives. So if you get a little bit of foam on the top, that's good. There you go. Yep.
All right.
So what you're going to smell is, again, that citrusy character, lemon and orange. Yep.
Everybody in the comments saying, beer me quick. They want some beer. Drink responsibly, over the age of 21 only, please. I'm a little bit over 21, a little bit.
Well, actually, I should point out, man, 21 and over to drink the beer 1,000%, but we are family friendly as well. So if you want to bring the kids along to listen to the music, and we've got, again, food and non-alcoholic drink options.
That's good.
It's just really simple. It's a really,
because I'm on here with you, like, this is really a good beer. Like, I could drink this beer.
Yeah, it's a good one. And that's actually a good one with crabs too.
And this is the citrus wide mouth white ale. That's what I'm drinking, you guys.
Yep. And that's the one oh, there we go. We got somebody that has had it before. And that's one you're going to find at local liquor stores and local shops. I mean, you'll see that one out and about. And then the next one, quick, I have to get you to try Black is Beautiful, man. That is as unique a beer. It is a beer with a great story for us, man. All the proceeds of that beer went to
drink this one out the can.
So the proceeds from that beer went to the Job Opportunity Task Force in Baltimore, man, doing a lot of great work. But that is a big imperial stout. It's going to remind you of the beer that you had in Jamaica, actually.
Guinness Stout.
Yeah.
Oh, this is good.
Yeah. That's one of my favorites. That's a great one, man. It's an important part of our story, giving back to our community as often as we can.
What do they say? It's 5 o'clock somewhere in the world, so I don't feel too bad about drinking this early in the afternoon.
No, and everybody's home now, right? I mean, that's the benefit. You can have a quick beer, in between Zoom meetings. It's okay.
Absolutely. And no one's judging me. So once again, man, I really appreciate you, Ryan, for coming on, giving me some knowledge, because I said up until today, I thought Guinness was just Guinness Stout, and that was the end of it. That was the tell-all be all about Guinness. And I'm really excited to really stop by and learn a lot more about the beer. So I'll set something up with you when I can stop by maybe next week or so, and just really support, because like I really want to learn. I'm big on learning about new things. So I really want to learn more about beer. I thought beer was one beer. Like, you drink beer, you don't drink beer.
I tell you what, man, anybody that walks through the gates of the brewery figures out the answer to that question very quickly. On any given day, you're going to see 16 to 22 different beers available on draft. We have something that will appeal to everybody. Even if you're not a beer drinker, come down, experience the place, listen to some great music, learn some great history, and be a part of the work that we're doing right now, because I think it's super important.
One last question, because I know right now, especially in 2020, everybody's on this fitness craze. So everybody's trying to lose weight and good abs, and you heard the term, I don't want to have a beer belly. So if there's something, if I'm a fitness guy or fitness lady, and I want to have a nice beer, but I don't want to have the belly in 6 months or if I'm drinking every day, do you have a light beer or something you recommend that's kind of low on calories or anything like that?
So I can legally not tell you that any beer is good for you. So I'm not going to say that all beer is not good for you. But that being said, when you talk about being full, right? When you talk about going out and having a couple beers and you feel bloated and feel full, what I would encourage people to give a try is any beer that is served on nitro. So for us, that is going to be Guinness Draft Stout, which is the one that everybody knows and loves. But then also right now we have a blood orange cream ale that's on nitro. When you go out and drink a couple beers, the reason you feel so full is because of carbonation. And nitro beers use 75% less carbonation. So it's going to sit lighter on your stomach. If you're looking to not have a beer belly, my suggestion would be to get your run in early, then come down to the brewery. That's the best way to do that.
There you go.
Yeah, that's.
Well, thank you so much, man. This has been absolutely amazing. I pray everybody you share this and tell your friends and family about the event that's happening. Black Eyed Susan event this Thursday, October 22nd, from 3 until 10 p.m. All the information on how to register, it's completely free. It's completely free, but bring some money to actually support and buy some beer. But GuinnessBreweryBaltimore.com is the website if you need more details. And everybody, if you're over the age of 21, drink responsibly. But have a midday beer. Go get you a Guinness today. Why not? Tell them QuickSilva sent you. Ron, any last words or any other information you want to put out there for all of our listeners watching right now?
No, we just hope we see everybody down at the brewery, man. And a big shout out to Tennessee Brew Works, our collaboration partner on that Black Eyed Susan beer. This is about as unique a beer as you're going to find, guys. So it's going to be here for a very brief time. I hope everybody can make it down. If not Thursday, we're open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as well. Just make your way down and check out some great beer.
All right. Thank you so much, Ryan, and everybody for tuning in. Thank you all so much. And we'll see you guys Thursday. And tune into the QuickSilva Show 3 until 7. Good. Thank you.